How to have an online yard sale and other virtual garage sale tips. How do you have a virtual yard sale? Yard sales have always been a great way to declutter and make some extra money at the same time. It's a win-win. While setting up a garage sale outside your home is still a good way to earn some extra cash, there's another way to earn money by selling your stuff: online yard sales. Hosting an online yard sale has a variety of great benefits. Online sales are a great option because they allow you to reach a bigger audience and help you get top dollar for your stuff. There are certain things that you will make more money from by selling it online. But if you're not super techy, don't use the social platforms, or just aren't sure where exactly to start, you're in luck. I've compiled my list of tips that I've learned over the years into this one blog post, so you can take all the guesswork out of your online yard sale. Just follow these simple online yard sale tips to get started. In this post, I'll share my thoughts on having a traditional yard sale versus selling online, where to host an online yard sale, pricing tips, what to sell online, tips for getting more sales online. Let's jump right in. Is it better to have a yard sale or sell online? The decision whether to have a traditional yard sale or sell your stuff online is up to you. Both options have advantages and disadvantages, so you'll need to decide which advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Consider these factors to help you decide whether to have a traditional yard sale or an online yard sale. Time commitment. Both options take a pretty significant time commitment, but the work you put into each sale is completely different. When hosting a traditional yard sale, you'll put time into setting up, pricing your items, sitting outside during the sale itself, and taking down the yard sale when you're finished. With an online sale, you need to take photos of each of the items you want to sell, create a listing, respond to interested buyers, and schedule a time to meet up and exchange money. Plus, you need to be prepared to answer messages more frequently, as the items might be up for sale longer than a normal 1 or 2 day yard sale. Time frame. In addition to considering the time and effort you'll put into hosting your event, it's also important to consider the time frame of the sale. As I mentioned above, a typical yard sale only lasts one weekend. On the flip side, an online yard sale can go on indefinitely if you want it to. You can leave your items listed online until they're sold and add new items to the listing whenever you want. Alternatively, you can commit to just having listings posted for a week or two before removing the items. Weather. Since traditional yard sales are often held outside, weather plays a big role in their success. If it's raining, too cold, or too hot outside, you won't get as many customers at your yard sale, which decreases the chances that you'll make a profit. But online yard sales aren't restricted by the weather. Your listings are completely online, allowing you to schedule pickup times based on your preferences and the buyer's preferences. Where to host an online yard sale. When it comes to picking the best place to hold your online yard sale, you have a few options to choose from. Facebook Marketplace. One of the best spots to create an online yard sale is Facebook Marketplace. Since the social media platform is used by millions of people every day, you can have a huge audience for the sale of your items with this platform. The key to being successful is to use local Facebook groups and the marketplace to sell your stuff. To find local buy and sell groups in your area, try doing a group search on Facebook for these terms. Your town name plus online yard sale. Your town name plus yard sale. Your town name plus resale. Your town name plus furniture for sale. Your town name plus online garage sale. Your town name plus garage sale. Your town name plus buy and sell. Your town name plus swap. Your town name plus classifieds. In addition to searching for your specific town, you can also use the names of neighboring towns or your county. Keep in mind that the more groups you list your online yard sale in, the larger your customer base will be. But it's also important to remember that if you sell in a city-specific group, you have to be willing to deliver your products to that town. There are 2 different ways you can create a listing for your online yard sale using Facebook. Facebook Marketplace. Facebook groups. While the listings posted in Facebook groups are only seen by members of those groups, anyone can browse the listings in Facebook Marketplace. Want a step-by-step guide for creating a listing on Marketplace and groups? I've included that below. But before we jump into the technical details, you might be wondering, should I list all of the items on one listing or have each item listed separately for my online yard sale? My thoughts are that you should list each item separately unless you're selling bundles of items. I've seen virtual yard sales with one listing that says online garage sale and then 5 to 10 pictures showing all the items being sold at the virtual garage sale. While it's easier to do just one listing, it's difficult for the consumer to see the details of each listing. This will invite more questions. While it might be more work initially, it'll be less work overall, and less confusing for you to manage, to have each product listed separately. Now that we've clarified that, here are the technical details. To create a listing in Marketplace, click on the Marketplace icon at the top of the app. Hit the Create New Listing button. Choose the type of item you're selling, add photos, enter your listing title, add a description, enter the price, and select a category for the item. The app will also ask you to include your location in the listing so buyers know where the item for sale is located. In the final step, Facebook will give you the option of adding this listing to other Facebook groups you're a part of, allowing you to reach a wider audience. If you'd rather just list in a local Facebook group because you want the item to only to be available to select individuals, you can create a listing in a local Facebook group. Click on the group from your group listing page. At the top of the page, you'll see a box where you can create a post. Click the box to start your listing. From here you can add photos, a description, a price, and select a category. After you create your listing, you'll be able to select other groups to which you want to post the listing. Then you can publish the listing. After listing your items for sale on Facebook, you'll need to keep up with your listings. This includes answering messages through Facebook Messenger about the listing as soon as possible, and updating the listing to remove items that have sold. VarageSale. Short for virtual garage sales, VarageSale is another great option for hosting your online yard sale. This online garage sale app allows you to connect with local buyers near you and sell your stuff easily. To create an online yard sale using VarageSale, you need to 1. Find your community. To create an account on this selling app, you need to start by connecting with your VarageSale community. Enter your location on the app to join the community near you. 2. Verify your identity. Once you find your local community, you'll be asked to connect your Facebook account with the app. This will help the app's admins verify your identity and ensure you're a real person. 3. Create your garage sale. After you're approved, you can start creating listings on the app. To create a listing on VarageSale, just create a post in the app by adding photos of the item, then fill in the details of the listing by adding a description and price. You can also select the different communities near you where you want to post your item for sale. 4. Sell your stuff. When someone is interested in your item, the app will notify you. Buyers can comment on the listing or send you a private message to let you know they're interested. After you finalize the details of the purchase with the buyer, you can reserve the listing and set up a time to meet. Online yard sale pricing tips. Once you have your yard sale platform picked out, it's time to start creating some listings. That means you'll need to come up with prices for all the stuff you list. To ensure you get the most money out of the stuff you're selling, consider these online yard sale pricing tips. Do research before pricing. If you're not sure what your item is worth, do a quick search online to see what it's going for. You can search for similar items on the platform you're using to host your online yard sale, or use an online auction site, like eBay, to get an idea of the item's value before you list it. If you can't find anything used, try to find what the same or a similar item sells for brand new, and then discount it appropriately based on the amount of wear and tear. Leave room for negotiation. Selling your stuff online will occasionally require some haggling. That's why it's a good idea to leave a little bit of wiggle room in your pricing to accommodate negotiation. Pricing your items slightly higher than what you're willing to accept will ensure you get the price you want after you've finished negotiating. Include some free listings to garner interest. You likely have a few items lying around your house that you want to get rid of that aren't necessarily worth anything. Adding those items to your yard sale and listing them for free can give your listing a little more attention. What to sell in an online yard sale. Selling your stuff online instead of at a traditional yard sale might be the best way to maximize your profits. You might prefer the ease of just doing one or the other, a traditional yard sale or a virtual sale, but not both. The truth is, not everything you want to sell is the best fit for an online yard sale. When deciding what items to list in your sale, consider what sells best on yard sale sites like Facebook and VarageSale. These items are popular products to sell in an online yard sale. Kids stuff. Buyers are always on the lookout for good deals on kids items because kids stuff is expensive, They grow out of their clothing so quickly. Stuff gets damaged all the time. That's why kids' stuff is perfect for selling on an online marketplace. You can sell baby gear, toys, clothes, learning supplies, accessories, furniture, and more. Furniture and appliances. There are so many craft-savvy people online looking for a great deal on large furniture and appliances that they can spruce up and reuse in their homes. That's what makes selling these things in an online sale so great. Plus, by selling them online only, you don't have the added hassle of dragging everything out into your yard for the sale, only to have to drag whatever doesn't sell back into your house. Electronics. If your electronics are in good, usable condition, they're great for selling online. Make sure to clear off any personal data, then list your old cell phones, tablets, computers, televisions, and other electronics in your online yard sale. Doing it this way instead of a traditional yard sale will help you get top dollar for these items. Entertainment items. Buyers are often looking for entertaining options when browsing online. That's why entertainment products like movies, video games, books, and toys are good options for your online yard sale. Another great bonus for listing these items online instead of selling them in a traditional yard sale is that you can reach customers who are looking for specific items, like a particular movie or video game. All they have to do is search for the name on the platform, and your listing will pop right up. Tools. If you plan on cleaning out the garage, listing your tools on an online marketplace is a great way to earn some extra money. Plus, they will earn far more online than at a traditional yard sale. Housewares. Home decor, kitchenware, and other household items are perfect for listing online. The key: make sure you take great, clear photos so the buyer can really see the item and know if it's what they're looking for. In addition to having great success selling housewares in your yard sale, buyers also love finding seasonal decor for sale. What to skip selling in an online yard sale? As you can see, there are a variety of items you can list in your online yard sale. But there are definitely a few that might not be the best products to add to your online yard sale, because these items just don't sell as well on online marketplaces. Instead of including these types of items in your yard sale, consider listing them on more specialty sites, like eBay. Doing this will help you get the most money out of your listing. Rare items. Niche products like specially designed car parts or artwork might not be the easiest to sell in a local marketplace. That is, unless you can find a Facebook group in your area where you can list these kinds of items for sale. For example, if you have something rare that a collector might want, it might be worth finding a Facebook group for that collection instead of going to a general buy and sell group. Just make sure you have permission from the administrators before posting anything, as these types of groups often have strict rules. Antiques and collectibles. Although you may be able to sell antiques and collectibles to your local market, you might not be able to sell them at their full value. It might be a better idea to list collectible items on another platform to ensure you get the most money for them. Adult clothing. Buyers love purchasing children's clothing through online marketplaces, but it's difficult to find people to purchase adult clothing. You could also try listing your old clothing as a lot to increase the chances of it selling. Or try listing your adult clothing on eBay or Poshmark, which are more known for clothing, to sell to a larger audience. High-value products. Although you could find buyers for your high-value items, like expensive technology or designer handbags, through a local marketplace, selling these expensive products might not be safe. Think about the cost of the item and the amount of money that will be exchanged when you meet in person to determine if you feel safe making that transaction with a stranger. Tips for getting online sales. You might think that creating a listing on your favorite online marketplace is all you need to do to sell your stuff online. But online sales are becoming more and more popular, which means you'll have plenty of competition from your neighbors to get local buyers' attention. To ensure you make the most sales from your listings, follow these simple online sales tips. Take good pictures. Pictures are probably the most important part of your online yard sale. Providing your buyers with great photos will help them see what they're getting before they commit to buying it. That's why it's essential to take the time to get the best photos of your items before you create your listings. These simple photography tips will help you take great product photos for your online garage sale. 1. Clear the area surrounding your product. Since you want your product to be the focal point of the photo, it's important to make sure the space surrounding it is clear of dirt, debris, and other products. This will ensure that there aren't any distractions in the photo frame and that your product is the highlight of the picture. 2. Make sure you have good lighting. The key to getting a good photo is having good lighting. Natural light is your best option when taking a product photo to ensure the colors and details are properly balanced. To get photos in natural light, you can take your item outside to use the sun as your light, or place the product near a window to allow natural light to brighten your photo. If you can't catch a break with the natural lighting, the next best thing is to place the items near a lamp that will make the picture bright enough to see clearly. 3. Take photos of your product from different angles. Since your buyers can't pick up the item and look at it in person, you need to provide them with a view of all sides of the item for sale in your photos. That's why it's so important to take pictures of your product from several different angles. Start by making sure to include an overhead shot and a shot of the item from the front. Then, add different angles to your listing to include up-close photos and pictures of the product's details to provide your buyer with even more information. Write detailed descriptions. While great pictures are the best way to showcase your items for sale, it's essential to ensure your buyers know what they're getting. That's why it's important to provide as much detail as possible when you're creating the description for each of your products. Each listing needs to include all the relevant information a buyer would want to know when making a purchase, including the products, size, color, brand name, measurements, condition. It's also important to think about the technical elements of your listing when creating an online yard sale. Most selling platforms require you to include information in your listing that helps the platform's search engine sort through all the different posts. When creating your listing, make sure not to ignore any of these elements to ensure your posts show up when buyers are searching. Name. While it may be tempting to use a cute or funny name for your listings to get more attention on your products, you will actually be hurting your chances of showing up in a search. The name you give your listing is one of the most important elements of the listing, so you want it to be as informative as possible. Make sure to include exactly what the item is, including the brand name and size if that's relevant. Think about the terms you would use to search for that item if you wanted to buy it, then include those words in the title of your listing. Category. Next, you need to be sure to pick the correct category for each of the items you're selling. You want to make sure you include each listing in the correct category to make it easier for your buyers to find what they're looking for and easier for the search engine to sort your listing into the proper place. Tags. Finally, adding tags to your listing will give the platform's search engine an even better idea of what your item actually is. Tags are simply generic terms you would apply to the item listed. So, for example, if you're listing a dining room table, you could use tags like table, furniture, and dining room. Bundle smaller items. When selling smaller things like clothing and housewares, you may have more luck selling items as a bundle or set. Think about what a typical buyer would do at a traditional yard sale. When someone finds that you have clothing in their daughter's size, they're likely to buy multiple pieces at once, right? The same goes for online listings. In addition to helping you get more money out of each listing, creating bundled listings also saves you time. Instead of needing to take a photo of each item individually, you can take one photo of the entire lot. Then, use the description to list the details of each item in the bundle, so your buyer will know what's included in the bundle. There are a variety of different products that sell well in bundles, including clothing in the same size and style, matching accessories like a handbag and wallet set, jewelry in similar styles, matching kitchenware like utensils or dishes, linens in a similar style or color, home decor in a similar style, toys with similar characters or themes, movies with a similar theme or actor, books by the same author or written for the same age group, video games for the same platform. Tips for staying safe. When hosting a yard sale at your home, you probably feel pretty safe selling your stuff. But selling your stuff online comes with a little bit of risk, because you'll typically need to set up a place for an in-person meeting to deliver your product to the buyer. That's why it's essential that you take precautions to ensure your safety during these meetings. Follow these tips to stay safe when selling your stuff. Research the buyer. If you're using Facebook to host your online yard sale, take a minute to click on the user's profile to do some research on them. People often create fake profiles to scam sellers, which means it's always a good idea to do a little bit of research before scheduling a meeting. If you feel like their profile is genuine, continue with the meetup. Otherwise, let the buyer know that the item isn't available, and move on to the next interested party. Arrange meetings during daylight hours to avoid meeting in dark or secluded spots. It's never a good idea to meet in the evening or nighttime hours. Even in broad daylight, try to avoid secluded spots. Always meet in a public place. When scheduling your meeting, make sure to pick a place that will likely have people nearby. This will ensure you're never alone with the stranger purchasing your stuff. A busy parking lot or a location near a police station are great options for scheduling your meetup. Most local police stations even encourage buy and sell pickups to be arranged in the parking lot now as a promotion for online safety, so why not take advantage? Tell someone where you're going and who you're meeting. When meeting strangers anywhere, it's always a good idea to let at least 1 or 2 people know where you're going and who you're meeting. That way, if anything goes wrong, they at least know where you are. I've even texted my husband after the pickup is done to confirm my safety, which gives us both peace of mind. Move items outside if your buyer will be picking something up at your home. Larger items like furniture may need to be picked up at your house. When selling these things, it's always a good idea to research the buyer before giving your address. Then, move the items outside on your porch to avoid requiring a stranger to come inside your home to pick up their purchase. Only accept cash or an e-transfer to prevent fraudulent purchases. Unfortunately, scammers are abundant on online marketplaces. When selling your stuff online, never agree to accept a check from your buyer. There is no way to tell if the check is valid, which means cash or an e-transfer is your best option for online yard sale purchases. Consider porch pickups. Everyone has different schedules. Arranging an in-person pickup can be challenging. In my experience, the easiest way to arrange pickups is through a porch pickup, aka a pickup from your porch. A porch pickup is when you leave an item on your porch for someone to pick up. They can leave the money under the welcome mat, in a mailbox, or by e-transferring it directly. I love doing porch pickups because you can just walk the item to your porch, no travel or gas money involved, and the buyer can come when it's convenient for them. When you're doing a porch pickup, it's best to put the item in a bag or box and ensure it can stay in good condition, given the weather. If there are multiple pickups scheduled around the same time, I'll often put a name on each bag to minimize confusion. It's always a good idea to put the items out as close as possible to the time the person will be coming for the pickup. If you're hesitant about the porch pickup method because you're worried a buyer might take off with your item without paying for it, you're not alone. I felt the same worry. I can tell you I've arranged over 100 porch pickups easily, and fingers crossed I haven't had a buyer take off without paying for an item yet. Meet at your workplace. Another great meeting arrangement is asking the buyer to come to your workplace, as you'll already be there. Of course, before thinking about either arrangement, you'll want to ensure the buyer is trustworthy and look up their profile in advance. Visit mommoneymap.com for more information.